Welcome back to the Better Days Rain podcast. My name is Sean Daniel, and today is a special episode. 2 years ago when I started this show, or when we started this show, it was always meant to be me and my wife, Sammy Kay. And we've had to kind of split the difference on some things, so it's been me soloing it, but we have finally reached a point where baby can get on the show and co-host. And to start this off, we're going to talk about mindset shifts.
I came up with that topic today.
She did. She came up with the topic for her first show, for her first co-host show, So, to start this off, what was the moment you realized your mindset needed to change before your life could change?
So I learned early on in AA that there had to be quite a few changes. And that did happen. But the last 2 years, I have been holding on to something that I needed to let go of. And by watching you and others go through that, I finally realized that in order for my life to really get better, I was going to have to change that mindset that I had way back, from way back. There was going to have to be a whole nother shift inside of me.
Would you say it was like a perspective?
It was.
Looking at it through a different lens?
Yes. It took me a long time because I held on to some old, and I'm sure we'll get into that later, some old ideas and old wants, needs, desires, however you want to call that. But yes, so my perspective has changed. And I knew coming into this, it was going to have to. And it's taken me a long time. But definitely, I want a good life. And I'm happy today.
But it's so, but it's a work in progress.
It most definitely is a work in progress.
Right, but it should always be a work in progress.
Yes.
We should always be trying to be better than we were the day before.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And I stated that yesterday. That's
more
something grounded. I look back at night and see, where could I have done a little better? Where could I have given a little more? If I need to make an amends, which I try not to put myself in that situation anymore, to where I, have to make an amends, but I'm still willing. So yes, it's been a slow progress for me, but that's okay because I've learned a whole lot about myself. Whole lot.
You always do.
Yes. So with that being said, Sean, how did addiction or emotional pain distort the way you viewed yourself?
Man, I would say it wasn't so much the addiction versus the emotional, but like the emotional pain wrecked me.
Yes.
Right? It took me to some very hateful places. I hated myself. I hated other people. Right? And so in that hate, it took me down a very toxic road. Mm-hmm. Right? Where I did some really bad things. Right? The addiction kept me there. Right? So it was a lot of it was the emotional pain that brought me to those things, but it was the addiction that held me there.
Right.
Right. It kept me at a state to where I wasn't looking for a way out, or didn't think there was a way out was even possible.
Well, let me ask you this: you came into recovery, and then we had a slip, and then we pulled ourselves out of that.
Yep.
Okay, so even when I first met you, you still had kind of a distorted sense of yourself. Because I could see the pain in your eyes.
I was early in recovery. I was still real early in recovery. So I was still figuring things out.
Okay.
I was absolutely still trying to figure out my place. And there were some practices that I had heard about, but I didn't necessarily know what it looked like in my life. And so, but when those events happened, I fell right back into that emotional turmoil, right? Where I fell right back into that deep loathing.
Right.
right? Because I hadn't progressed to that enough in my recovery to really even take that on, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I tried to jump the gun on that,
Mm-hmm.
thinking I was good when really I was still
Healing.
fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I was still super fresh,
Right.
trying to find purpose, trying to find my own place, and I was adding more to my plate than what I could really handle at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so by the way, we're doing like a Q&A. We're just going to go a little bit back and forth, try to get different perspectives. So, how do you personally handle negative thoughts and anxiety today?
Oh, my Lanta.
This is going to be a good one.
So,
How do we handle that?
today, I talk it out with someone, you or usually Katie.
Yep.
I breathe. I do some breathing techniques. I get in the bathtub and try to decompress.
So, but like a lot of it's you having someone to talk to about
Yes,
it.
I finally have someone that I truly trust. I feel like I could tell Katie anything, absolutely anything. And because she has worked with mental health patients and
Right.
people who have been or in addiction and recovery, she has a better handle on when I come up with things that I feel like might be off the wall.
Right.
She's seen it or heard it or done it. And then, of course, I talk to you and you give me a different perspective. When I don't like what you have to say, I go back to her. And you know this to be true.
Yeah, well, like I'm one of those people, like, there's things that, like, I know people want to hear.
Yes.
And then sometimes there's things that people just need to hear.
Yes.
Right?
It's just like that time I said, I need you to be on my side, even though I was in the wrong. I just wanted you to be on my
I
side.
just wanted you to be.
And that's the thing about when you have you're going back and forth with your husband or your wife. Sometimes we want that cushion from them where we can take it a little better from someone else. So I can take some hard things from Katie better than I can you.
Yeah, well, you screwed up and married a counselor, so
right.
good luck with that one. On to the next one.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I got stuck. Okay. Excuse me. Let's see. Where is it?
Squirrel.
How important has accountability been in your personal growth journey?
Man, accountability is everything. When I was in active addiction, I didn't have a support system at all, really. I was in an angry place with, I guess, my family at the time. Because for one, they put me out, but they put me out and like didn't even try to give me an option as like rehab or something like that, right? They were just like, bro, get out. So I was by myself. So I didn't have any accountability.
Do you think they knew to offer that, or do you think that maybe they thought it was no way you would even entertain that idea?
I don't think they entertained it.
Gotcha.
I think at that point they were just pissed off enough to be done with me.
Okay.
So I didn't have any accountability, and when I didn't have accountability or somebody constantly trying to push me in the right way, like I went down a rabbit hole like you wouldn't believe. Right. And coming into recovery, accountability is everything. Right. I keep accountability around me 24/7.
Pretty much.
I don't allow myself to, like, I don't go to the homeboys. Like I don't kick it in places or be in social groups that I know I'm going to get myself in trouble.
Yes, that's a slippery slope.
Like I'm not even saying bad people, right? But I'm just saying people that I know are going to do things that I know so when I see people, it's usually in an AA room or with my wife present, or here at the studio, I have accountability, but I don't go places where there is not someone there who's going to check me, or I know if I screw up is going to check me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
so it's been everything to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you want to talk about the high risk of addiction, right, and how it's so easy to slip, right? Keeping yourself in a social circle or social network to where every single person that you kick it with is going to hold you accountable,
That's right.
right? It really changes the name of the game,
It does.
right? Because it pulls us out of that high risk situation, and it also promotes a lot of growth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I'm a firm believer, like I'm not going to go hold somebody accountable unless I'm willing to stand there with them.
Absolutely.
Like
Because if you're not going to do it, why should you expect them to do it?
why am I even saying anything?
Right.
Is it my right to sit there and say anything bad about someone when I'm not going to be there to help pull that person up?
Absolutely.
Right. So, and if that's the case, then I just need to keep it moving and mind my own business, stay in my lane. Right. So, why is humility such an important part of personal growth?
Humility.
Oh, that was your question, but I'm asking you anyway.
Okay. I feel like humility is extremely important because sometimes we get arrogant and we have this ego about us that everybody is doing us wrong, and it's all the environment's the problem, or other people are the problem, or blah blah blah. And we have to come to a point in our life that we have to humble ourselves, and we have to have some humility to be able to accept the side of the street that we walk on, and to clean that side of the street up, truth be told, because 9 times out of 10 we've gotten ourselves into either allowed ourselves to be put in a situation or found ourselves in a situation, and we have some sort of a part to play in that.
Right.
And I don't know how I can address that, hear someone else tell me that, address that, and learn to change that if I'm not humble, or if I don't have some humility about me to say, you know what, you're right, I screwed up.
Well, I think too, like me in active addiction, there was no humility.
Oh yeah.
Right. And to go along with that, there was no correcting me.
It's true.
Right.
I
like
remember.
I was full of pride. I was full of ego. Like you were wasting time trying to push me in a different direction. Like I was going to do me, and there wasn't nothing nobody was going to say about it. So when I came into recovery, I really had to be willing to sit down, accept correction, learn from my mistakes, learn a new life.
Right.
You know what I mean? All together. But I think that humility, because today, even today, I'm not the humblest person, right? I have humbled myself.
You have.
But like I also have I still have some fight in me.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think everybody needs that fight. Right. Like I have to be humble enough to accept correction, but I also got to have enough fight in me to fight for my life.
I'm glad you bring that up, because I kind of lost that for a while. I think I beat myself up so badly, which is it's beating ourselves up is not part of the recovery, but humbling ourselves is. But I think I took it too far, and I just kept lashing myself and kept lashing. And I remember you asking me, where is your fight for life? What is your purpose? Like,
you have to have some degree of fight. You can be too humble for your detriment.
You can. I've done it.
And the world will teach you that, right? The people will will treat you exactly how you allow them to.
Exactly.
Right. So if people learn they can walk all over you, they will absolutely walk all over you. If they can treat you a certain type of way or take advantage of you, they will. Right. But for me, coming into recovery, I really had to practice humility for a good long time, so I knew what that looked like.
Yes.
Right. So I knew when to be humble and when to fight.
Yes.
Right. And when I say fight, I mean, like, let's talk about like controlled aggression. Right. Not to where I'm putting my hands on people, lashing out at people, calling people names, destroying other people's lives. But I'm talking about the fight to move on, the fight to achieve my goals. You know what I'm saying? The willingness to move forward.
Yes.
Right. So I think you have to have a good balance of both. right? But for a good long while, I had to just sit down and practice the art of humility.
I agree.
So that way I knew what that looked like.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I didn't even know what that looked like.
And I had to do the opposite. I had to kind of work at building my self-confidence back up
Right.
because I had lost it. I had lost it
And
completely.
you won't get that without a little bit of fight.
Right. You've got to have a little grit.
You gotta have a little grit.
little sass to you or something, you know?
You know?
Not that I'm not angry anymore. I used to be so angry. And I'm not angry anymore. And I don't feel like having, like, if we can't talk like adults, like, for instance, our marriage, we don't fight.
Right.
We have discussions.
Right.
We talk about things. We pray about things. We work through some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was not my norm.
Right.
I've learned how to be that way and practice. And you're right. We have to practice it all the time in every situation of life. For sure. Why do you think so many people struggle with change even when they're unhappy?
Bro, it's comfort. And when you really boil it down, I mean, you go ask people in the world, they'll say that he's just lazy. And I think lazy may have a role to play in it, right? But when you really boil it down, it's comfort. 25 years of drug addiction, I got comfortable with pain.
Right.
Like me and pain were friends.
Hand in hand.
We were cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We were locked in, like,
Yeah.
because that was my day to day. I was day to day in it. So I learned how to live with it, and it became my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came into recovery, like, everything was new.
Right. You didn't know how to behave.
I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know how to find a social network that was going to keep that accountability.
Right.
Right. I didn't know any of this. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, I'm 40 years old. I'm trying life out legitimately for the first time.
Right.
So, really, yeah, it's that comfort, man. It's that comfort, but like all of your growth, all of your breakthroughs, everything you want to be in life comes from your discomfort.
Yes.
It comes from getting uncomfortable.
Because sometimes those comfortable patterns or those comfortable habits are toxic.
It's super toxic.
And if you've lived that way for so long, I know for me, I had to break out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn a whole new way of handling myself, handling other people. I had no idea. My family was so enmeshed. I did not know how to create boundaries. I did not know how to respect boundaries.
Right.
And I've learned how to do that. I didn't know how to create a boundary for myself, even against other people.
Right.
You know, or man, yeah. So when you're out of your comfort zone, change will happen. It's hard.
So I've come to this conclusion that if you don't embrace change, then you stay in what's fixed. That's what comfort is.
Yes.
Right. Comfort is fixed. You know, and I get that a lot. Like when I'm sitting at home. When I'm sitting at home, I feel like I'm in a fixed area, right? And when I'm doing things out in the world, I'm in that growth mode,
right?
Where I'm growing. So I try to stay in that growth mode as much as possible, right? Because fixed mindsets don't change. Fixed mindsets don't change, and that's what we are in addiction.
Right.
In addiction, we are in a fixed mindset. This is my life. It's never going to change. I'm never going to put this bottle down. I'm never going to quit, shooting the needle or whatever it is, right? I'm not going to do it. This is how my life is going to be forever. That's fixed. That's comfort, right? When you get uncomfortable, that's when a whole lot of growth starts happening. And that's where all your level ups are.
Yes.
Everything you want in life comes from getting uncomfortable.
Yes. And
Trying
learning how
new
to be
things.
consistent in that new uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
How important do you feel like consistency is to that?
So, the Bible talks about consistency, and I don't want to just touch on the Bible, but I will say you can be either consistently good or consistently bad.
Very good. Very true.
Right. Consistently bad gets you consistently bad results.
Yes.
Right. Consistently good gets you phenomenal results.
Yes, it does.
Right. The partiality part is where a lot of people hang out, right?
Mhm.
One day they're good, one day they're bad, one day they're good, one day they're bad. And what I've learned about that is half commitments get you full consequences,
Oh, yes.
right? So
Mhm.
being good, being bad, you might as well, you got to pick one.
Mhm.
Because this right here is going to get you the same consequences from
Yeah, you're
being
going
all
to
the way
end up
bad.
in trouble eventually.
It's going to get you the same consequence from being all the way bad,
Right.
right? So when it comes to being consistency, you have to make a decision.
Yes,
Am
you
I
do.
going to go left or am I going to go right?
And
Right.
stand on it.
And then you got to stand on it. That's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these last 2 years, I feel, and I know you've heard me say this, man, God has made me stand on
Everything.
every word that I preach. He has made me stand on every bit of it. And I'm grateful he did. And it was like every time he did, I'm like, ooh, he's testing.
Mm-hmm.
He's testing me just to see if I'm gonna walk that walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But the rewards are worth it, you know. Just like when you're consistently bad, your consequences get magnified.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they consistently get worse. When you're consistently good, your efforts will magnify as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's, you know, we saw that with the promotion and the job. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, it's those types of things that just magnify when you put in consistent hard work.
Absolutely. And being disciplined.
Discipline is everything.
That's right.
Discipline is everything. You got to make yourself do it.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, no one can make you do it.
That's right.
You know, I'm a firm believer that I can influence change.
Mm-hmm.
I can inspire change.
Yes.
You know, and I can be that change that I want others to be, right?
Yes.
But I have to walk in that just like they have to walk in theirs,
That's right.
right? And so I can't force someone to do something, even when I know it's the best thing for them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
They have to do it. Like, now, am I going to sit there and try to, look, bro, come on,
Mm-hmm.
like, do something? But ultimately, I can't make people do anything.
Right.
Right. But at the same time, I don't have to do anything to hurt them.
Mm-mm.
And that's a lot of where I think a lot of people get it wrong is they're like, oh, this person's not putting an effort, or they continue to relapse. So I'm going to go ahead and burn them and send them to prison. You know, I'm going to go ahead and be that person to put some hurt in their life
Mm-hmm.
to make them realize their mistake. I don't have to be like, me personally, that's not what I feel like my calling is.
Either.
You know what I'm saying? My calling is to help people.
Right.
Through and through. If they don't want help, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But I don't have to do anything to cause that person pain.
No.
They're going through enough as it is.
And I know that at times I have done some things to help someone, and I was ridiculed for it because it wasn't exactly what they would have done.
Right.
They would have burned them. And to me, it was coming anyway, so might as well go see your loved ones and say goodbye because you already know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So different people have different views about that.
Yeah.
I truly believe that I don't want to burn somebody. I'm tired of hurting people in my life. You know what I mean? Or people that I don't even have a lot to do with. I truly do not want to harm anyone else.
Well, that goes back to accountability, right?
Yes.
What is accountability? Is it me passing judgment on somebody and
No.
crashing them out? Or is it real accountability me trying to help correct someone?
Yes, in love.
And bring understanding.
In love and in respect.
Right. And when I started moving in that direction, not only was I helping more people,
Mm-hmm.
I was feeling better about myself.
Exactly.
Right. And so, you know, doing all things out of love instead of hate or bitterness or you know, some sort of spite.
It has more effect.
It is. It
has a more positive effect
it's lasting.
on different people than the harshness.
And it's lasting.
Absolutely.
How important are mentors, sponsors, or coaches in changing someone's mindset?
Okay. So 9 times out of 10, we're already adults when we're in recovery. I've seen some teens and stuff, but even then they're up in their, upper age.
Yeah.
So a mentor or sponsor can guide. They can walk with. They can show someone how they did it. If they don't know how to show or how to walk or whatever, really, they probably should direct them to someone else. We cannot make the only person that you can do anything to change is yourself. We cannot force people to do things a certain way. And if I were to be a mentor, I want to get to know the person that I'm working with. I really want to know them.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way I can possibly help them is their learning patterns. They're the best way to reach them. Because not one certain thing works for everybody. You have to know the person, and you have to be willing to kind of move around some things, and you know what I'm saying, Sean?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to be able to kind of be more flexible.
I think when you boil it down, if I could have figured this out on my own,
right?
It would have happened.
Exactly.
Right.
I knew nothing.
So at some point, I've got to be willing to ask for help.
Yes.
Whether it's a counselor, a therapist, someone, right?
Yes.
For me, that someone had to be someone with some similar lived experience.
Yes.
Right. And it had to be somebody who, at one point in their life, was a criminal in the same manner I was, because it was some of the things I was dealing with.
Right.
And when I was going talking to counselors and stuff, and they're trying to process these things, I'm like, man, y'all ain't getting where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Because you ain't ever been there. Right.
Right.
And so having someone with that similar lived experience really helped me get on the right track.
Yes. I remember going to, I had a really great therapist, but she didn't know exactly where I came from because she hadn't walked that life. So she had worked with some people that had, but so what we focused on was the here and now.
Right.
What's happening here and now that we can address, that we can possibly have a different outlook on, so that you can still make some changes in your life. And then I worked with other people with the problem I was having as far as my addiction. And now, I don't hold anything back now. Like, I tell on myself, and I mean,
that's kind of how I am. I'm like, well, if you want to figure something else out about me, you can watch one of the other videos. I told it. I told it in a video or two. I probably told it in 5.
Oh, sorry, I might blacked out. Okay, so, how did you learn to stop running from emotions and finally face them?
Didn't have a choice.
Explain, Lucy.
No, I had reached a point to where I had to fix me, right? And I had to quit giving myself a way out. Once the drugs were gone, and I had to literally live with me the way I was and make peace with some of the things I was, I had to quit giving myself options. Right. I literally had to become obsessed with fixing me.
Right.
And that's still a work in progress, right? There's still things about me that are still, cuckoo. But I needed to make something very dramatic happen in my life to correct where I was going.
Right.
So I had to get super obsessed with it. I mean, you're talking lots of meetings, lots of counseling.
I remember.
Put myself through school just to figure myself out, and ultimately all of those things have created a very, I have a very broad understanding today, but as far as handling my emotions, I when I developed Crohn's disease, I was in the hospital and doctor came in and he was like, Sean, you've got to stop stressing yourself out. And you've given yourself Crohn's disease. It's a stress-induced disease, and I told him what I went through, and he was just like, you've got to make peace with this. If you don't make peace with this somehow, some way, it's going to kill you. And it's going to kill you faster than your heroin addiction.
Right.
Like, that's how bad it was. So I had to really start checking my emotions, right? And not reacting to things on impulse. You know, like just literally slowing everything down, not freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to freak out real bad when things happen,
I've
real
seen
bad,
that.
real bad. You know, and I've had to slow all that down.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to sit on things, and maybe it's that sometimes sitting on things is like a week or two.
Oh yeah.
You know, until I can rationally come up to a conclusion in my head of why I feel the way I feel. But then too, like staying busy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like keeps me from dwelling in all that stuff too much.
So let me ask you this: through the changes that the dramatic changes that you've made in the last couple of years, and your self confidence has gone up, your feeling of your self worth has gone up.
Through the roof.
So
We'll go ahead and say through
would
the
you
roof.
be willing to say that you really like yourself and love yourself today?
Absolutely.
I do
Absolutely.
too.
I love everything today. Rob, I'm no longer that person I used to be.
I know, me either.
I went through a deconstruction phase where I just quit wrestling with the person I used to be and that old mentality and those old feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, like I'm going to break myself down. And I did this in jail, right? And I said, I'm going to dedicate myself to Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm going to start living different.
Mm-hmm.
In that process, I got out, got baptized, got married, you know, and I started making the right moves
Mm-hmm.
for once,
Right.
right? Not knowing where it was going to end up or how it was going to play out. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to just live right.
Right.
Just that I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to commit myself to doing right things
Mm-hmm.
and living in a right way. And you know, today I don't even let people people who even want to try to identify me as that person I used to be. I'm like, nah, bro,
Not happening.
not even at all. I'm a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a completely different person. Like my mission has changed. You know, my life has changed. I'm living the best life I've ever had at 41 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, it took me 39 years to get there, but
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not losing what I've got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm on a great road as of right now. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean there's not going to be hardships? There's absolutely going to be hardships.
Oh yeah, we've been through
You know,
'em.
but God has shown me that I can get through it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but God has shown me too, like hard work gets you through it.
It does.
Hard work gets you through it. And I've put in the work.
You sure
know,
have.
I've put in the work and I'm going to continue putting in the work. Like, I don't have a cap on how high Sean's going to make it in life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, you know, I don't have just like one set goal. This is what I want to do. Right. I'm leaving that bad boy open.
Up to God.
I'm leaving that bad boy open. I'm just going to keep pushing the mark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep raising the standards. You know, I think that most of us, when we come into recovery, we don't have a standard to life.
Yeah.
Right? That low self-worth we were talking about. We don't have any type of standards.
No, not really.
Right? We don't have any structure. So today I'm constantly adding more structure and raising my standards to match that structure.
Right.
Right? And as long as I can keep doing that, I will keep growing and I will keep succeeding.
Yes. And for those of you at home, when my husband levels up, he helps me level up. And if I am leveling up, I help him level up. Like it's kind of a...
That's how it should be.
It should be. We are a great team because we don't let each other stay down long.
Well, and again, going back to the Bible, God's always moving forward. When we talk about relationships, especially, I'm going to point especially in relationships in recovery, right? We've seen some horrible things through relationships.
We have.
And, you know, I've really sat down and tried to learn the dynamics of what a relationship should look like.
Right.
Right. And that should be me elevating you and you elevating me.
That's right.
And us holding each other accountable to that elevation. Right. What you typically see is one person trying to elevate and the other one trying to drag that person back down.
And that never works.
Or neither person holding each other accountable and they're both just crashing out.
Yes.
Right. So at some point you have to look at that.
You do.
Right?
And you have to really be honest with yourself.
You have to be honest with yourself,
and
with them, and then you have to make a decision.
That's right.
Right? Is this the way I want my life to look like?
That's right.
And you have to stand on that decision. Again, you have to stand on everything you do in recovery.
Yes.
Like 10 toes in. There's no plan B. There's no options. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all growth. It's full on gas. Like I'm mashing the pedal and I'm not stopping.
Right.
For and I'm not letting nobody pull me back.
I knew when I got you out of jail, before I got you out of jail, I knew that I wasn't going to leave you there. I knew that I didn't want to live the way we were living before when we slipped. I knew I didn't want to ever go back to that.
Right.
But I had to come to the fact that, just because I'm choosing not to live like that anymore, you may not want that same choice. Luckily for us, God was intervening in our life. And so we both chose to step away from that.
Well, I think it's because at that point we both chose to build.
We did.
From the bottom.
100%.
From the bottom.
And I wasn't sure. I really, truly was not sure about how it was going to play out. But I was completely committed to the fact that I wasn't going to live I did not want to live like that anymore. And I would love you, and I would wish you the very best, but I couldn't be a part of that.
Right.
And I know you felt the same way.
Man, I knew it was go time. Like, it was either go all in
or go ahead and get out,
or just go ahead and crash out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't ready to crash out.
I wasn't either.
I thought I was ready to crash out, and it really took some really good people stepping into my life to help me develop my sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It took you. It took some other people in the community to kind of pull together. And that was the crazy part, right? Because here's this man, beaten, broken, battered, bruised, you know what I'm saying, career felon, sick to death, dying. And all of a sudden, after 40 years of life, a bunch of random people are stepping in to help me.
Absolutely. And it just all kind of came about in God's beautiful way.
And it's like
everything that happened.
It happened that way, right? But I had to make a decision.
You did.
I had to make a decision and commit to something.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're stronger since we've decided that we were going to build together. I feel stronger in my recovery today than I ever have since 2019.
Absolutely. It's really hard to sustain recovery when you're not doing anything.
Right.
When you're laid up at home, when you're being really complacent, when you're giving yourself too much downtime, when you're dwelling in your past, when you're doing all those things, it makes relapse real easy.
Yes, it does.
When you're constantly in a state of motion, when you're moving forward, when you're growing, when you're staying busy, it makes relapse hard.
Mm-hmm.
It makes relapse hard.
It does.
And then once you start racking up wins and you start learning what it really feels like to start racking up wins.
Right.
Right? Like today, I don't want to go back.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to go back at all.
I don't either.
I don't get the urges to use. I don't get the urges to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get the urge to win.
Right.
I do. I get the urge to win. I get the urge to level up.
Yes.
I get the urge to start new things.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing what I've been doing has kind of just like drifted off into a lot of different things, but it's really cool because it's like, all right, what do I want to do today?
Mm-hmm.
What direction do I want to go today? And what do I want to work on today? What do I want to be a part of today?
That's right.
How uncomfortable do I want to get today?
Because it's coming.
Because
if you're leveling up, the uncomfortable's coming.
You could sit around all day and wait for an opportunity, and you'll probably die waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the reason I say that is because even if an opportunity came your way, the fact that you're not in motion, it would probably pass you by and never see it.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Right?
Now, when I'm working towards something and I see an opportunity cross my way, I'm looking for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actively looking for an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So when it hits, I'm like, boom, I'm right there.
Right.
I'm ready to go.
Right.
But if I'm not looking for those, if I'm sitting back, waiting to see some Facebook post or you know what I'm saying, one of my family members hit it big or so, you know what I mean? Like, the things that go through the addict mind. I'm waiting for my homeboy to hit. Once he hits, then I can hit and da-da-da-da-da. Like, no, man, get out there and make your own way. And you'd be amazed the opportunities that not only you see, but that actually come your way. Like, I've had people just call me and be like, hey, bro, you want to be a part of something? Let's do this.
And how hard was that, like, for you to wait on God's timing rather than it happening Or do you think it was perfectly orchestrated?
No, instant gratification comes from not doing nothing.
Mm.
When I want instant gratification, it's because I want the result without putting in the work. That's where instant gratification comes from.
Very true.
Right? That's where shooting up heroin comes from.
I want
I want to get high, but I don't want to do nothing for it.
That's
so I'm
right.
just going to blast it up real quick. It takes 30 seconds and I'm lit. That's that instant gratification that we're constantly looking for. It's that want to be comfortable. Right? Today I have that want to be uncomfortable. And I want to get real uncomfortable sometimes. Right? Because I know that's where my win's at.
Right.
I know that's where everything I'm looking for is hanging out.
It is.
You know what
definitely.
I mean? And that's where I'm going to find it. But I have to put myself in the room.
Yes.
I have to move a different way. I have to
show up when you're tired.
Bro, show up every day, regardless. Show up every day. All right, what's one daily habit that keeps you grounded and focused?
I love our church time in the morning. That is it for me. Our church time every single morning. We listen to Eric Thomas.
Yo.
And that man just puts things sometimes in perspective, and I miss it when we sleep in. Or we only have like just a few minutes to listen. I love that thing. I love it. I love that you found it. I love that you started doing it, and then I started doing it. I love our prayers when we pray together. Yeah, that's my number one though. Is that church in the mornings?
I'll have to
every
agree with
morning.
You know, there's something about waking up with God that puts you in a sense of gratitude.
Yes.
And it's always makes for a good day.
Yes, it does.
Always makes for a good day when I can wake up in a good mood and get that dose of spirituality in before my day starts. You know, because then I'm calm, cool, and collected throughout the day.
Yes.
If I wake up irritated or stressed out, like I'm
my
guaranteed,
whole day is probably
but I'm
messed
guaranteed
up.
to project that on every person I come across.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So that's always my space that I can wake up in a good mood in, right? And usually my day goes pretty well.
Yeah.
No matter what's involved with, you know, it goes well.
That's good. That's true, and I love it. Let's see. I don't like that. Okay, so we just kind of came out of a difficult season of life, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I know what my answer would be, but like, what was your motivation to, during that difficult season, what helped keep you going? Because I know there were many times that we wanted to just quit or let it consume us.
I had to come up with a very strong why. Like, growing up, or we'll just say my whole life, right? I failed at everything, every area of my life. Work, family, children, life. You know, I'd spent half my adult life locked up. You know what I mean? I've been a crash out artist my entire life. And really, I don't know where this came from, but it was like, well, I do know where it came from, right? It came from that aha moment with God. When I was sitting there looking at my life and I was like, why is it everything that I touch gets destroyed? Everything. There's not one thing that Sean has put his hand on in this world that hasn't got completely destroyed or ran through. You know? And when I had that aha moment with God, God said, you know what, you want to save your soul? Start saving other people. Put other people in front of you. And when I started doing that, my life changed dramatically. Since then, you know, the goal has been other people. And it's steadily been other people. I want to show people who were feeling the way I was feeling in that moment, right? At that moment, I felt like I was too far gone.
Yeah.
I felt like life was over. I felt like there was no coming back. Like, this is it, and I deserve it, and this is just how it's going to be.
Right.
I wanted to show people that no matter how bad you slipped, no matter how bad you've destroyed and ran through your life, that there's still a comeback.
There is a comeback.
No matter how old you are, the relationships you've burnt, right? And that has been my motivation, right? That was my motivation to go to college. That was my motivation to get into peer support and counseling and start helping people. right? Because you're never too late. It's never too late.
It's never too
And,
late.
and as a matter of fact, the things that you think are impossible to accomplish in addiction not only happen, but they happen extremely quickly
Mm-hmm.
when you make a commitment to do it.
That's right.
When you commit yourself fully to it,
Mm-hmm.
it happens in almost record time.
Yes.
And that was my goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal was to not just show people you could do it, but my goal was to show, I was like, I want to do it faster than anybody else, just so I can raise the bar and show everybody else that they can do it.
That's right.
Right? Because it can be done.
It can.
When you commit yourself to it, when you discipline yourself to it. And bro, I did. Man, it took me about a year and a half. And bro, I'm cracking.
Mm-hmm. I know
Like-
there were times that during this trial that we've been kind of going through and stuff that I got down and you had to kind of pull me up
Mhm.
when I think that was probably some of the darkest times besides when, you know, my kids, but I did not realize, and thank you for doing that, because there were times, you know, I was down pretty low. And I didn't realize how badly it affected me until now it's kind of settled, you know?
Well, and that's what we're talking
And
about,
I
that
feel
mindset.
so much freer. I feel more at peace. I feel like, okay, now we can start breathing and living our life again. But it took a while.
So talking about that mindset shift, right?
Right.
So the struggles that we go through can do one of two things,
Mm-hmm.
right? They can either break you
Mm-hmm.
or they can build you,
That's right.
right? So you went through a season where that kind of broke you,
It did.
right? Where
It
I
did.
let that actually
Build
launch me to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so it's all about looking at things through a different lens and a different perspective. Is the thing that I'm going through
Mm-hmm.
going to break me, or am I going to make this give me the best life I've ever lived?
Right.
I had to look at that 25 years of drug addiction,
Mm-hmm.
years of prison, years of homelessness, you know, like just career F up,
Right.
right? And I'm like, is that going to break me, or am I going to make it launch me into being the best me I can possibly be?
Well, I remember you saying our downfalls can be our greatest strengths sometimes. And I remember you repeating that over and over and over to me. Like, let's make it a strength. Let's look at it as a positive rather than a negative.
Right.
And how can we build on that? And how can we, you know, but there were, and I knew you were right. There were just times sometimes that I got down kind of low, but I have mental health
But I mean,
issues
you
with
look
that
at it,
too.
25 years of drug addiction, right?
Yeah.
What's to be happy about that, right? How do you find gratitude in that? I can tell you, I am absolutely 100% grateful for all 25 years of that and everything that I went through,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was it hard? You know, did it hurt? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. But it gave me almost like infinite wisdom
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the world of addiction.
Absolutely.
And I get to use every one of those bad experiences, that turmoil, that pain, that trauma
to help
to help
else.
somebody else.
Amen.
And that made it all worth it, right? So it's not, it's about going through your struggles with joy.
yes.
Bible tells us that, right?
And I find the joy in it now. And actually, I don't regret what I've been through because it wouldn't have led me to the person that I am today. And it wouldn't have given me all the tools and the ability to
right.
reach out and help other people had I not gone through what I went through to get to where I am today. And I'm a much happier person today. And I love life today.
All right. Final question.
Okay.
What does better days reign truly mean to you personally?
Oh, this is a good one. I thought I was going to ask that one. Okay.
Well, you can ask it to me when
Okay. So, Better Days Reign, what it truly means to me is it's an avenue of reality, raw hope for people who may not know how to get help, people who maybe don't feel comfortable getting in the rooms, but know that they want to make a change. It's a way to connect with others across the world to show that maybe they're not alone, you know, and maybe something that we've gone through or what other people that we bring on the show have gone through maybe it would be some type of beneficial. It'll be beneficial to them in some way, form, or fashion in their life. And I'm not talking about just drugs and alcohol addiction. There's overeating. There's overworking. You can apply this recovery basis to any area of your life. It doesn't just have to be drugs and alcohol.
Right.
I mean, there's porn addiction. There's gamblers anonymous. Just come on now. Maybe we're just not. Let's not put it in a box.
Right.
Let's open it up for anybody that could use something.
Right.
With what we do. And I love Better Days Rain. I do, because I feel like when you don't go into the rooms or you don't always know what to do, maybe you hear one little piece of something that just makes you think about something, that thinks, oh, well, maybe, I hadn't thought about that.
Yep.
That's a whole new, just like Eric Thomas did for us.
Yep.
It's a whole new way to look at
different things.
The teachings and the experiences and the knowledge. It's just a different way to look at it.
Amen.
Okay, so you want to answer that same question?
All right.
Okay.
What does Better Days Rain mean to me personally? Man, Better Days Rain was built to inspire hope.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When I started speaking a lot in the rooms, there were people that were starting to latch on to my words.
Right.
And not only latch, but like people were actually following it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it was a way for me to not only propel myself, right, but in a way to inspire others to try to propel themselves as well.
Absolutely.
Right? To show people that change is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That you can succeed, even coming from wherever you come from, no matter how deep rock bottom got for you.
Right.
There's a way out.
There is.
Right? And so, and that's what we talk about on the shows. We talk about people in their rock bottoms and how they made it out. We talk a lot about life experience, because it's important to not only know that you're not alone in that fight, but that there is a way out.
Yes,
right?
there is.
And it's through perseverance. It's through discipline.
Yes.
Right? It's through educating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's through growing as a person.
Absolutely.
It's more than just putting the drug down.
Yeah.
It is absolutely more than just putting the addiction away. It is learning how to live life on life's terms to a point to where now, at some point, you're living life on your terms.
Yes.
Like I want to get to where I'm living life on my terms.
Right.
Right. Where I'm asleep and my money's making money for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I want to get. Am I there yet? No.
No.
But that's obviously the goal, right?
Right.
But until I get there, living life on life terms is the goal.
I could have just put the alcohol down or the drug, but if I hadn't done the inside work, I'd still be a crappy person.
Nothing would change.
Nothing would change, except that I
change.
wasn't using or drinking.
Right. Right.
So you're absolutely right that it's more than just not overeating or over gambling or just putting all that stuff down. It's an inward change.
It is. It is.
And growth. I love the growth.
Better days happen when you commit yourself to a calling, to a goal,
Absolutely.
to a better life, and that's when you find better days reign.
That's
man.
right.
But it comes through commitments.
Yes, it does. And it's hard.
It's hard.
It's not easy. And
All
there
right.
have been days we've had to pull each other up.
But that's what it's all about.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, we've had a fun show. I love having my wife on the show. She's gonna be back for many more. With that, man, I think we're done for the day.
Okay.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye, guys.